Welcome back, viewers. You're watching The Savera and I'm Vidhi Joshi. In a sweeping enforcement action, the Directorate General of Civil Aviation has ordered the removal of 3 senior Air India officials from all crew scheduling and rostering roles, citing repeated violations of flight duty time regulations. These include Divisional Vice President Chuda Singh, Chief Manager Pinky Mittal, who handles crew scheduling, and Payal Arora, who is involved in crew scheduling planning. The decision comes in the wake of the June 12 crash of Air India flight AI 171 in Ahmedabad, which claimed around 270 lives, including passengers, crew members, and people on the ground. A preliminary investigation identified serious lapses in crew management and oversight, which the DGCA believes may have been contributing factors in the fatal crash of the London-bound Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner. Remove the officials from all crew scheduling and rostering roles, initiate internal disciplinary proceedings and report outcomes to DGCA within 10 days. Reassign the officials to non-operational roles with no involvement in safety or compliance positions until further notice, the DGCA directed in its official notice. The regulator also warned that future violations, if uncovered during audits or inspections, could attract stricter penalties, including license suspensions and withdrawal of operator permission. In a related move, the DGCA has also issued a show-cause notice to the accountable manager of Air India, alleging violations of flight time limitations under the Civil Aviation Requirement, Section 7 Series J Part. During a spot check, it was discovered that 2 flights AI 133 from Bengaluru to London on May 16 and 17, 2025 each exceeded the permissible 10-hour flight duty limit in violation of Para 6.1.3. The DGCA accused the accountable manager of failing to ensure compliance with operational regulations, also citing non-adherence to provisions under Annexure 3 of CAR Section 3, Series C, Part 2. Air India has been given 7 days to respond, following which the matter will be decided ex parte based on available evidence. Air India responds in an official statement. Air India confirmed compliance with DGCA's orders, stating, "We acknowledge the regulator's directive and have implemented the order. The company's Chief Operations Officer will now directly oversee the Integrated Operations Control Center. Air India remains committed to fully compliance and with safety." Repeat. Air India remains committed to fully compliance with safety protocols and operational standards, they further mentioned. The AI 171 crash, one of the deadliest in Indian aviation history, occurred when the aircraft crashed into the BJ Medical College hostel complex in Ahmedabad's Meghani Nagar shortly after takeoff. The tragedy led to 241 fatalities on board, along with casualties on the ground. Efforts to identify victims are ongoing. Gujarat Health Minister Rushikesh Patel reported that 220 DNA matches have been completed, and the remains of around 202 victims have been returned to families. Among the deceased are 160 Indian nationals, 34 British nationals, 7 Portuguese citizens, and 1 Canadian. In a public message on June 20, Air India CEO and Managing Director Campbell Wilson reassured passengers and staff that comprehensive checks confirmed the safety of the Boeing 787 fleet and emphasized the airline's continued commitment to transparency and support for victims' families. Amid the scrutiny the aviation industry employees guild has demanded a CBI probe into the termination of 2 cabin crew members who allegedly reported a technical fault in a Boeing 787 flight last year. AIEG General Secretary George Abraham alleged that after the Mumbai-London flight on May 14, 2024 experienced a malfunction with slide rafts deploying in manual mode, the crew reported the issue but were later pressured by management to change their statements. When they refused, they were reportedly dismissed. "This is a serious safety issue. We have written to the Prime Minister seeking a fair investigation," Abraham said. Although the DGCA reportedly held informal hearings, no formal outcome has been shared, raising concerns about accountability. Air India, however, defended its actions, stating that the terminations were based on misconduct and falsification of critical information during the course of the investigation. The removal of the three officials marks a significant escalation in DGCA's efforts to enforce aviation safety compliance. The AI-171 disaster has cast a harsh spotlight on systemic flaws in crew management and regulatory oversight, prompting calls for deeper investigations and reforms across the Indian aviation sector. That's all for now. Stay tuned to the Savera for more updates. Do like, comment and subscribe to the channel.